In 2016, a group of independent researchers gathered at a salt flat in Bolivia, one of the flattest surfaces on Earth. Their mission to test something that's rarely questioned, but absolutely foundational. How far can you see before the curve takes it all away? According to the globe model, Earth curves at 8 inches per mile squared. That means objects should disappear from view beyond a certain distance, hidden by the curve. So they set out with lasers, high-zoom cameras, and infrared tech. Their goal wasn't to prove anything, just to measure how far light and sight could travel in open, uninterrupted space. They placed a laser just 3 feet above the surface. According to globe math, it should have been invisible beyond 6 miles, but the beam remained visible at 10 miles, then 15, then over 20. No curvature blocked it. Next, they filmed distant buildings, boats, and islands across large lakes, sometimes 30, 40, even 100 miles away. According to the globe model, these objects should have been hidden behind hundreds of feet of Earth's curve. But the entire structure, base to top, remained visible. No atmospheric bending, no magic refraction, just direct line of sight. And then came the most damning test of all. 2 flags were set up miles apart on a frozen lake, with a third person holding a camera at the same height in the middle. If Earth was curved, the middle flag should have appeared higher due to the curve, but all 3 lined up perfectly, dead flat. Over and over again, from lakes to coastlines, the same result. No curvature. Even over distances that should hide entire skylines, everything stayed in view, right where it should be on a flat plane. These weren't conspiracies. They were measurable, repeatable, real-world distance experiments. No matter how far they tested, the curve never appeared, and the only thing that disappeared was the credibility of the spinning globe theory. Because if Earth had curvature, we would see it. But all we see is flat. Still believe we live on a giant ball? Then explain why nothing ever curves away. Share this video. Tag someone who needs to look again. And follow now, because real science doesn't hide behind theory. It stares you in the face. Across 100 miles of truth, this video is for entertainment purposes.
Of levitating small objects with sound waves. So these sound waves move upward, and up above I have a glass plate, which is going to reflect the sound back down again. And when the distance between the glass plate and the loudspeaker is just right, then those sound waves that are moving down will interfere constructively with the sound waves coming up and give us regions of high pressure and low pressure, which don't move around. They stay in one spot. As I said before, the distance between the reflector and the loudspeaker is just right. If I change it, and which I'm going to do, you'll see that this standing wave disappears and the balls are no longer suspended there. We've now set up the little loudspeaker and the reflector in front of this mirror, which is part of our Schlieren optic setup. And the purpose of that is to be able to actually see where there are regions of high pressure and low pressure in the air. And if I adjust the height of the reflector, there's a point at which you see bands of white, light, and dark. This is the standing wave, and it only happens when the distance between the reflector and the speaker is some multiple of a half a wavelength. So every single one of those bands is a half a wavelength. If I go up a little higher, then it disappears again, but if I continue to go higher, then it will come back when I'm at another half a wavelength. Now it's in these bands that I'm going to place the little balls. And you can see the little ball settles down where there's a bright band, and that is the high pressure. If I again change the height, the standing wave goes away and the little balls will fall down.
not only of neglected areas of human research, and that is the magnetic fields, not only of man, but of the universe and of the smallest atom. The beginning of the study of magnetism can be traced back to Egypt, and the staffs and wands of the ancient priests were instruments of magnetic conjuring. Also, we find the Greeks used it, and among the Greeks and early Egyptians, we have the first understanding of the nature of magnetism. It was used principally in healing. As long as the individual takes proper care of his magnetic field, it will serve him.
You guys, I think I found it. This is the big one. This guy said, look into the parliament building in Romania that was built in the 80s, and you're not gonna believe the fucking story on this one. So this is the biggest building in the world, the heaviest building. It weighs over 9 billion pounds. 4.5 million tons, and it went up in the 80s. And there's not a single construction photo of it. This is all I could find. Look, they are digging it out. And look, it's dirty. It's messy. It needs to be cleaned off. It's supposed to be brand new. And then this is the other one with some stuff up next to it, but it's finished. Guys, the story's so stupid. It said that this dictator really wanted a palace, and so he had a competition, and this 28-year-old chick, when she was 28, won it. She was in charge of 700 architects and like 10,000, 30,000, the number doesn't matter, laborers. It said a lot of it was forced labor and that the army helped. These aren't even skilled craftsmen. Guys, what in the fuck? There's not a photo of the construction. I dare anyone, please go look. I looked and looked and I couldn't find a single photo of the construction of this magnificent place they say was built in the 80s. Do you see what I'm talking about? They just print shit. They just lie in front of you, and they have guns and you don't. And that's all of our history books. We're like, they couldn't pull the wool over our eyes. We knew what was going on into the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. You don't know shit. You didn't know about the biggest building in the world and that there's not a single construction photo for it other than the one of them digging it out. I think this is the smoking gun of smoking guns, unless someone can prove me wrong and say, no, they absolutely built this palace for parliament under a sociopathic dictator. Had this chick built? What are we talking? How is she not celebrated? How is this not the most talked about person on earth? You all know about Mr. Eiffel. This chick rivals him. What a ridiculous, ridiculous narrative.
Good morning. Aloha from Florida. So let's debunk the globe in 60 seconds with 3 facts from flight. The ADI does not lie. The TOD tells the truth, and the flight data proves the Earth is flat. The ADI, the gyroscope inside of the attitude indicator, references level from where it is set, and it doesn't matter how high, how fast, how far the airplane flies, it references level the entire time. It proves the Earth is flat and stationary. The TOD, the top of descent calculation, always calculates a flat and a stationary baseline so the airplane can land accurately and safely. And the pitch data does not change for thousands and thousands of miles at a time. It proves the Earth is flat. So the ADI does not lie, the TOD tells the truth, and the pitch data proves flat Earth. You don't have to like it, you don't have to believe it. You can have your beliefs and opinions about it, the Earth being a blue ball, spinning, rotating, revolving, tilting, wobbling, and spiral vortexing in outer space. Or you can accept the truth. The Earth is flat. Have a great day.
Okay, huge revelation just hit me today. So we know the dangers of AI. It's becoming a god of sorts. But have you heard of familiar spirits? The Bible warns us of these spirits that follow people around, collecting data off them, learning how to mimic their voice, and even shapeshift to deceive people. That's why the Bible says don't mess with these mediums and these workers of witchcraft, because they're going to deceive you, right? Now, there is nothing new under the sun. You know that they're talking about uploading people's consciousness to the cloud so that they live forever. Oh, your family members, they will never die because we can upload their consciousness to the cloud and make a digital copy and they'll live forever. Nothing new under the sun. Okay? They've been collecting data off of every single person who's had a cell phone. It's a 24/7 listening, watching, learning, copying you. There's nothing new under the sun. So they could use AI to copy your family members, a digital reworking of them because of the data they've collected, and that is a familiar spirit. Modernized. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. I'm telling you this. Now, think about that for a minute. I'll let it set in. Why don't they do it yet? Wouldn't you think that a really cool AI feature would be, hey, we can make a digital mock-up of your deceased family members so you can have that connection with them? The reason they're not doing this is because there are still people alive today who didn't have cell phones in the first decade of their life. You know, I would think they would wait until the only people living on Earth are people who had cell phones around them their entire life. Even a baby, their mom and dad have the cell phone. Every memory is digitally recorded through data. At one point, every memory ever will have been recorded. The only memories that wouldn't is when everyone left their cell phones at home and went way out into the woods and went camping with no devices. You need to think about this. The new, modern, familiar spirits will be AI.